Everything is ruined. Everything is all the win. Max has some fun. Everything is ruined. Because he's the awkward one who can't even spell awkward.
It's true. It's true. And with those lovely words, hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast without a W. AnY and Keyframe one about random drivel. And today, for the first time in 2018, actually, with us again, Yuri, aka CrimsonTieTV. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and I want to tell chat right now something I observed about you. Let me tell everyone.
Oh boy, oh no.
So, if you are around ANY and you have a lot of discussion with him, there's a specific cue. You have to wait for it. It's true, or indeed, is the cue when ANY is just dropping a topic. Nothing comes after that. When he just feels, all right, I have contributed to this discussion right now, I will just now withdraw from this discussion without any failure. When we are on work and we are just talking about random stuff, when he comes to a point when he says, it's true, bam, end of this discussion.
No, it's just that I cannot contribute anything at this point.
It's actually nice because it has a very nice rhythm to it, and I can just say, all right, he's done now with talking.
But
cool.
Yeah.
That's his opener. Anyway.
Even in written form, you can check my scripts. I use but yeah. Also, when I rewind,
you can make a drinking game for that.
Oh,
I've edited your script. Welcome to the roasting livecast. Okay. I've edited his.
Always happening when I'm around.
Oh no, I've edited his scripts before for that stupid and everything. You have no idea how many times I've had to cut out the beginnings of his sentences because he uses words that you shouldn't use at the beginning of sentences, or he just reiterates what he just said.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, because his latest That's Stupid, he says it at the end of their episodes, but he sent it to me being like, Chrissy, this script is too long. Can you help me shred it down? I was like, fine. 90% of what I shredded was just him reiterating things over and over right next to each other.
Let me drive this point home over and over and over again. I love it.
I mean, guys,
it's so convenient because
little comment things on Google Docs being like redundant.
Guys,
and it's even worse when he tries to defend himself about it.
Nothing against especially you beloved viewers on YouTube watching right now. But the YouTube audience needs this kind of treatment because otherwise you still get comments and you know who you are. If you're not one who leaves comments that are already answered in the video, I don't talk about you, but you, exactly, Aaron. You, Aaron.
You, non-specific, lowest common denominator viewer.
I mean, yes, at the end of the day, you could make the argument, even if I do all those iterations, I still get comments addressing stuff I already answered in the video, so I guess I can just skip the reiterations because some people are beyond saving. But yeah, anyways, after we roasted me so beautifully, Keyframe, how was your week?
Oh boy, it was a week.
It had an ending.
Good.
Many days ended with Y, I have been told.
Yeah, many days. Working throughout the beginning of the week, and then, just trying to decompress and stuff. Mental health days. And it was actually kind of nice because Monday I streamed Cuphead with Golden Fox, and it was actually really fun. We had over 100 concurrent viewers, which was nice. Yes, and we were able to beat the plain blimp lady, unlike some people.
Nice.
Who played
Do you find that it's harder in co-op than in single player?
No, it's easier in co-op because I just kind of sit there, and when I die and Brett can't save me, he wins the stage. No, it was the best thing because I guess I just have kind of a character when I play games of I'm the asshole that takes all the credit. I basically become the guy that's down there with the chat right now.
But it's true. How does a let's play between the two of us looks like?
I don't know.
We can't both be the
one.
we can't both be the asshole who takes credit.
I think you managed quite well.
We need
Just
to
to
do that
Go for it.
because the only let's play we've done, the let's plays we've done have been the ones where we can't, where I have to be kind of the straight man because either I can't hear the game like Dungeon Keeper, or it's a game I genuinely enjoy and revel in your misery like Undertale.
But
we played
couch co-op. I guess Cuphead still has actual multiplayer, not remote couch
Cuphead
co-op.
is Cuphead is the multiplayer. But so that was fun. That was really cool to do. And Saber Spark was even in the chat, and he was talking, and he was like,
Nice.
hair game on point, Key, and I'm like, why does everyone like this hair color that I'm not going to keep? Like, so that was that. And then I didn't stream on Wednesday, and I watched what's going to be my media later. And then yesterday I hung out with the Abby Roadie, Lauren, because
Nice.
we have a script together for a certain Anarchy series, and I needed to bring my mic over to her because she only had a headset mic, so not going to have her record lines on that.
Oh yeah, and in that regard, I can tell that Keyframe and Abby sent me a hot girl-on-girl action video.
Let me see if
It's
I can
probably
find
not remotely as it sounds.
Let
Knowing
me see
you.
if I can find it. I don't think you'll be able to hear the video, but
Maybe if you hold it close enough to your microphone.
I need to just take out the beginning.
The horror.
There we go.
Oh, microphone and visuals. Now this will be interesting.
Yeah, just maybe it'll be even better without.
So,
But yeah,
so are pillars involved,
yeah,
or what is happening?
here, watch the hot girl-on-girl action.
Yeah, it starts all right.
Yes, key. Oops.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
oh yeah.
touching
Look
is
at it.
occurring.
Ooh, yeah.
If you didn't
Touching is
hear-
occurring.
If you didn't hear what Lauren said during it when I put her hand on her head, she was like, hot. And she didn't tell me she was going to say that. So you can hear me at the end almost breaking down laughing.
I mean, I say the same when someone is doing the face hugger grip into my face.
Hot.
Right?
No, it was just, this is me and, if people wonder, this is me and Lauren's normal behavior. She's the only one that I can really act that kind of weird around. Because if anyone ever sees me and Lauren in real life and sees how we act, they will either think these two are children in woman bodies, or are these two a thing? Like, I've had people actually ask if me and her are, and I'm like, no, the door don't swing that way, and if it did, it wouldn't be for my sister. Like, no. Stop doing the contemplating hands.
I mean, our office, ANY and me, we are in the office. We are doing gym stuff together, and
with the
we
shower
were shipped
afterwards.
hard.
Are we really?
We were shipped hard. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's like I had someone come up to us at EQLA saying, "I ship you two," and I'm like, "Are you going to buy something?" No, I just wanted to tell you that, and then they walked away, and me and Lauren are looking at each other like. Remember when I said that people don't know social norms at these conventions? And she was like, but we do weird things where we'll just stare at each other, or I'll put my hand on her face and she'll be like
go on.
She just we're just really weird people. I mean, he saw us during FriendoCon and during EQLA, so he could attest. Me and her just have no boundaries, which is the best kind of friendship you can have.
Except the one with the barn door. But yeah, I guess you had a fun day yesterday.
Yeah, it was a fun day.
You notice, chat? ANY dropped the topic. He's done with it. But yeah.
No, because I'm not done.
But ANY apparently.
We recorded lines and everything, and then we just kind of hung out. Brett went to go see Rampage, which he said was you got what you expected, which is mindless The Rock action. And
it's amazing, right? If you do not expect anything.
Me and Lauren's brother Ryan just I showed him the instant regret clicking playlist, which is that 1,000 plus playlist of meme videos, and he was just like, I think he fell in love that day because he was just like, you know memes? And I'm like, of course I know memes. And he's just, but it was it was actually, for the week that I had, it was a good week. So there we go.
Yo,
Glad to
Yuri.
hear.
Absolutely. Yuri,
Yes.
how was your week?
Solid. Yeah, it was
Thank you,
very
thank you.
quiet but also very productive week. I stumbled upon a very fun playlist. WTF moments in HOTS. That's a playlist on YouTube. Just Google it. It's pretty amazing. If you're a HOTS player, just Google that. It's pretty funny. It's one of those where ridiculous gameplay moments are cut together and then it's underlaid with good music and situational funny things.
I
It's pretty
can't
cool.
believe you only found this yet. It popped up on my radar weeks ago, ever since I started playing HOTS, and I ignored it for the most time.
I'm not really into YouTube anymore since I just follow the same playlists and never go to the start page. So that's maybe the reason why. Anyway, I found that. It's pretty amazing. I also did my first 308-pound squat. That was pretty nice. So I am just progressing right now in my workout pretty hard.
Oh,
I have a feeling every time I can just put more on the bar and more and more and more, and I just eat more due to the fact that I'm just training more. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, and also getting my stuff together for probably, hopefully, my movement soon. So that was my week. And yeah, and today I saw a movie which you want to talk about in your media, I guess.
indeed. I give a hint what
Good.
it might be.
Yeah, it's Guardian of the Galaxy 3, obviously.
Yes, I got the leaked version. I believe it's still in post-production, so or pre-production actually, not even.
Yeah, it's not even filmed. It's in pre.
Anyways, my week.
How was your week?
Oh, my week.
Eventful.
My week was actually eventful for once, believe it or not. Yeah, because for people who followed my Twitter, you might have probably caught on that I was not at home for a while. I was over in Denver for Starfest.
StarCon.
Starfest is actually the name. We called it StarCon the entire time, but no, it's Starfest. No, I was over there because Denim Ninja also lives near Denver in Boulder, so we had the opportunity to go over there, and well, I guess I can move over to showing. What do you do? It is a science fiction convention, and what do you do at a science fiction convention? You cosplay. And
Who's the person on the far left?
Tony
supposed to be?
Stark, actually.
Oh,
we had
okay,
actually
cool.
we ran into like 3 or so Tony Starks. This guy is actually, he has a nice suit, but the other one actually had glowing buttons on their chest, and
that's sweet.
yeah, and I was like I was like wondering if there was a sale for Tony Stark shirts for glowing chest buttons. But it was pretty fun. So this was last weekend, so before Infinity War started, and it was when one of the Tonys went by me and was like, "Hey, Stallone!" I was like, "Hey, Tony, see you next week in cinema." This was fun. We went into plenty other people. Yeah, the Gamora is Denim Ninja.
How long did it actually take in the end, her cosplay? Because he tweeted about it.
Yes, her makeup took like 3 hours. Like,
Can imagine that.
And you see, she's actually wearing what's the
Bodysuit.
yeah, what's it called again?
Morph suit?
A bodysuit.
Body painting?
No, not body painting, but the suit. But this is kind of ballet suit.
From the neck down, it's just a green bodysuit.
Yeah, basically.
A onesie, basically.
There's still a
Yeah,
different
onesie.
name for it, but I give up.
But no, yeah. This
Catsuit?
is why
What are
I'm
you
going
talking
to
about?
Snowdrop. There's no makeup. It's just the tail.
Yes, it's really just the face and a little bit of green on her hands, but her face with getting it even, getting the markings right, getting the makeup around the eyes. It was like 3 hours. Leotard, thank you. Also, welcome back, I guess. No, it was. Thankfully, we decided to only go full cosplay on Saturday. So it was a 3-day con. On Friday, my Star-Lord cosplay is not too difficult, so I went as Star-Lord Friday as well. But she just went Fallout. Don't have a picture of the Fallout.
Fallout, you mean?
Fallout.
Not Fallout.
No, Fallout. Like a blue jumpsuit.
The game,
with
the actual
yes,
franchise.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I don't know where I have those pictures. I must have them somewhere else. But so basically just putting on the jumpsuit. And the next day, because we started after breakfast, and it was basically 3 hours of. I just took laptop, sat there, just checked social media, posted stuff, whatever.
Wasted your time.
Yeah, I was chilled. I caught up on YouTube, and we had an entire day, and it's a small con, so it's not like you need to get squeeze every second out of it. So I was chill about it, but I still was laughing. I still had a fun time just for 3 hours, just the makeup and everything.
I'm having flashbacks.
yes,
to laugh.
yes.
No,
you love
to
this
people
cosplay.
who don't. To people, I'll make a cliff notes. To people who don't know, I went as Lapis for BronyCon that year, and I was like, I want to do like a full-out one with blue body paint and everything. I didn't think about the leotard. None of my cosplay friends told me about leotards because everything that I saw, they were like body paints, and so I got blue body paint. It got to the point that I just told Max and Brett, go to the con without me. I'll catch up with you. Hold this painting for Tony Fleeks that I worked for 2 weeks on. Don't give it to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gave it to him, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, because I was looking for you, and I was like, okay, where's the painting? You can't say, oh yeah, you could see me. He was like, but I had the blue body paint, but
Hashtag blame ANY.
it kept sticking to things. So I guess it didn't come with a
every time.
sealant. So it took me like, 2.5 hours to get all the body paint on because Lapis has it on her arms, belly, and face and everything. And then another hour and a half using Max's shampoo because that was the only thing that would get it off to scrub it all off. And I still had it on my armpits. And I was like, I'm missing half the con already.
Yeah, and this was at BC, wasn't it? Like a real big con
This was
where.
BronyCon,
Yeah,
it was amazing. So I was a flesh tone Lapis, which still worked. But I'm having flashbacks. I know the pain of coloring your skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing I can closely relate to that was the time when I was LARPing in steampunk outfit. That was not the body paint or something, but the whole just outfit and make everything for the LARP convention bulletproof and waterproof because it was also tied in with camping and all that. That just took hours, and I was like, all right, I will never do that again. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's get kind of wild.
I heard you hugged the polar bear.
Oh yeah, we are getting to this. I believe I have the polar bear also ready.
That was a tweet, right?
Yeah, if not, it's on my Twitter, so I posted a little bit on Twitter.
Hey, Dukamores for the one.
Yeah. I mean, how would Star-Lord react?
Yeah.
But somebody else also did the full commitment with the green paint and everything. Well, yeah, come on, move forward. General good cosplays like Samurai, Boba Fett.
That's
We
cool.
had an entire Arkham crew, which was.
Is that a male Harley back there?
This is a male Harley, but what originally caught my attention was the plate on Robin and Batman's outfits.
Oh, that's Damian Drake's Robin too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. But how they did it in real life was quite interesting to look at. Then
Hey!
and what?
I like how one did not commit.
No, look, both of them. You see both their hands with the gems.
Yeah, no, but one it didn't paint their skin and the other
that's
did.
what you mean. That's what you mean. Yeah, she. I believe she mentioned something like it, like yeah, I thought about it and that. But here's the beauty about it. They are actually a couple.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes,
Oh, she's wearing the Sapphire's wearing the baseball Sapphire outfit because it's the one that doesn't go all the way down to her feet in the episode where all the rubies played baseball.
I see.
To people who don't know what Steven Universe is.
Yes, but it was pretty amazing. They were like running around like that, and I was like also like arm around the hip and everything. I was like, are they a real couple? They look very real couple. And then I see I believe Ruby with Sapphire like squeeze the button. I'm like, yep, they're an actual couple.
That's great. Or they're method actors.
No, I asked them. I actually asked them.
I know, but just saying, wouldn't it be great? It's like, no, we're actually sisters. This is method
We're
acting.
in role. Yeah, excuse me.
We're just best friends.
But I was
We're
like,
committed.
I your couple in real life, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, I do it.
That's cute.
Then gender band Android 16 and 17.
Ah,
I don't even know why. I mean, you have both there, but no,
That's
they went
pretty
with,
cool.
And commitment. He is wearing a skirt.
Oh, he is. I thought those were shorts.
No, he's wearing the skirt. They actually went all out with the costume and
Nice.
detail and everything. Both have the rocket logo. He has it big on the back, like Android 18, I believe. Is it 16 was a big dude, right? It's 8, 17,
16,
and 18.
17, and 18.
Yeah,
18
this
is the girl.
Yeah. Then what else? Come on, go forward. Oh, then they had a little bit of cars there.
Ooh, this is the part of the con that I would have liked. I love cars.
I believe I forgot one car.
Did they have a DeLorean?
I'm not sure if they had. I believe they had a DeLorean, but it was not there on display when we have been there.
It's a standard for every nerd con. If they have cars, they have a DeLorean or they have an Ecto-1. That is just something I've learned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I just
That's the two staples.
found Fallout cosplay.
Ah, cool.
Also, that's her actual hair, unlike the with the Gamora.
Yeah, a lot of purple.
Oh, also, she got that for you, Yuri.
Yeah, she tweeted at me
Oh,
with that. I was
nice.
like, fuck.
And wait, let me go to the overview to find the car. Oh yeah, Keyframe. Are you familiar with this car?
Okay, I'm glad people couldn't see me because I was looking up from my phone and I did like a pan
Well, I'm out.
flail. I'm sorry. Okay. Actually, looking closer at it, enhance.
Enhance.
This is no. I'm trying to think. No. Because I'm wondering what incarnation of it is. Because, but I'm gonna have a nerd moment. I'm allowed to.
Absolutely.
If you look at like
Just put the photo over me.
The Scooby cars from from the original cartoon stuff, there's a lot more flowers on it, you know? I don't think it's the one from the live action movies too, because they were like, oh no, we're gonna make it cool with the kids, so they didn't have flowers, it was just blue and green. I think it may be What's New Scooby-Doo. I'm not sure. That looks like they started making the Mystery Machine and gave up during the painting.
Ooh, burn.
But it's because the Mystery Machine actually has a very nice looking design, but it's flowers and swirls and all that. It's 60s, you know?
Yeah.
But that is cool. I mean, I'm not going to say that if I had money and if I could drive a nerd car to a convention, I wouldn't kidnap all my friends and drive in a Mystery Machine, but yeah,
so nice. It's so nice to feel on the other side of a fence for once that someone is talking about really nerdy shit and you are just like, wow, I have no clue what she's talking about, but she's really passionate about it.
Yes, she is.
I grew up with it. What car is that?
Just some Mad Max Wasteland car, I assume.
Oh, because it kind of looks like Knight Rider's car, but with a bad paint job.
A Wonder Woman car with like the logo. Even as
Wonder
a car
Woman had
logo.
a car?
It's a Wonder Woman themed car.
Oh, all right.
Whatever. With
Wonder Woman would not ride that car. Let's be honest.
Didn't she have an invisible car?
No, this was a jet.
She had the invisible jet during the Silver Age. No, If she ride a car, she would probably be still riding like a 50s Buick or something. Let's be honest.
Probably.
With real big fins.
But yeah, this convention, so as a wrap up about Starfest, it was like, it was a smaller convention. It was fun to be there just as a guest. That was also why we didn't miss out too much. I believe we spent like 2 hours or so on the first day in the vending hall. Then it was basically a conglomerate of conventions. It was Comic Fest, it was Game Fest, this was the best part. There was Klingon Fest. There was one super tiny room dedicated to Klingons. And it was like they had an opening ceremony on the first day. They had a closing ceremony. They had Klingon lessons. They had, throughout all 3 days in this tiny room, they had Klingon themed program all through the convention, all 3 days. Super committed. It was amazing. I mean, I didn't check it out, but simply seeing it in like this one room and all Klingon, all 3 days, Klingon. Amazing commitment. Yeah, and thankfully there was.
Is it not an official religion these days? Even something was about this.
You can actually register any kind of church and religion you want for all you know. Klingon actually does. I'll be darned, that actually is the original design.
I know Star Wars. The Star Wars thing is an official religion.
Yeah. There's a religion for it. But yeah, what I also have to say is, since it was a smaller con and you could only get so many pictures taken of your cosplay, it was good that it also had Gamescom in it. So there was board games on top, so we could just sit down every now and then, just play a game, which was also nice for the feet, because 3 days on your feet, Keyframe and I know from FriendoCon that this can be taxing if you're not used to it. So this was actually a good thing, that every now and then you could just sit down. And we played an amazing game, which I sadly forgot the name of. Denim was like, hey, this could be something you might enjoy. And it was actually only, while you could just get all the games and play them, like borrowing them, there was one particular time slot set for this game. It was Betrayal on the Hill House or something, Hilltop House or so. Betrayal on the House on the Hill.
I've heard of this game because I think
it's super fun. I love it. I probably will get it.
Is it social deduction?
No.
Because that's the hot rage right now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think I've seen this game from, because Game Grumps used to have a spin-off series called Table Flip where they would play board games, and I think I remember that this was the second game that they played on the show.
Wow. You just put in Betrayal and Google already completes it for you.
It's a good game. I've played it before.
Absolutely.
I played this at MomoCon with like Caleb Hiles and people. It's actually a lot of fun.
Does someone want to make the sales pitch for me for that game?
Yes.
The elevator pitch?
Yes. So it's basically a mystery game where you are one of the players in a haunted house.
Lovecraft style? Cthulhu and all that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Just random horror. So I guess some of the scenarios could actually go Lovecraftian direction. But yeah, you start out exploring room after room. Rooms have different events, like either an actual event happens, there's an object in the room, you can have an omen. With more and more omens that get uncovered. Omens are positive until, for every omen there must be a haunting roll. And you roll with plenty of dice, and once your dice are, once you cannot roll more points with the dice than there are omens in game, and they constantly get more, then the haunting starts, and suddenly one player becomes the betrayer. It's known, whoever just took up the last omen is a betrayer. And they get a little handbook where their new rules are in. The other players get a different handbook where their rules are in. Like, how do you prevent... Asymmetric, nice. Yeah, how do you prevent the end of the world? And the other player, how do you cause the end of the world, basically?
It's the
and there are 100 different scenarios in there, depending on in which room, with which omen, who triggered it.
Nice.
Oh, yes. So, replayability. Nice exploring game. Yeah, it's a game oh wow, this is tiny. Definitely wanna play again. I should have picked this as my medium, shouldn't I?
You should have.
Yeah, hindsight.
Good job.
Hindsight, baby. But yeah, this actually made. Otherwise, I mean, this con
Was this
could have been-
kickstarted or something? Because I never heard about this game, actually.
I don't think so. Keep talking, I'll check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was basically my recap.
It's the second
of...
edition, even.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They have been. We played the first edition, which was Wedge, which was not that amazing, but it was amazing. But still, there have been some small issues, like an underground pond has by accident been labeled as rooftop. So you uncover the underground pond in the rooftop area because it was accidentally wrong labeled in the original print.
Nope, this was not.
It's even from Wizard.
It wasn't.
Wizard of the
Yeah,
Coast.
it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't kickstarted. This is from Avalon Hill, who are known for making these games, and it's owned by Hasbro. So it's actually from a
It's
big
one of the
provider.
big dudes. Nice. So the thing why I'm always checking for that is if is it from Kickstarter? Kickstarter makes amazing games, but if they are really successful, they're usually not in stock and get really pricey. So that's the reason why I like to check about this, because sometimes you just need resupply or you want to buy it even internationally, and that's harder with Kickstarter sometimes. But cool. We'll definitely put it on my list. Check it out.
But yeah,
even not that expensive.
To wrap up my Denver trip. First of all, Starfest, if you are in the vicinity, it's a fun thing, especially with the games aspect that gives you something to do if you're not too much into panels, and I'm not into panels. So if you're into panels, there's also
Unless
plenty
you're
to do.
on them.
It's true. I'm a fucking line live hawk. If I can be on a panel, I'm on the panel. But yeah,
good for you.
To wrap it up, we on the way back out of Denver, we also stopped at the Denver Zoo, where people might have seen pictures on Twitter. Here is me trying to make a new friend. He actually bit me so hard in the finger that it left a mark.
Let's see the mark. I want to see the mark.
No means no, ANY.
It's not visible anymore. No, for most of them I could. It's not helping if I don't. For most of them I could, because I have food in the one hand. For many of them I could just go there, the food as a bait, and then give them my finger, but keep it out of reach. So give them my finger to basically step on the finger, and then I could hold them on the finger, like the photo on Twitter. However, this one came close. I was like, and then in my finger, and I'm like, dude, not like that. Even though he wasn't the biggest asshole, so there was another.
That's the
green
reason
one.
why you make the safe word discussion before you engage.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, the other one was even worse. It came and just bit and didn't let. Stayed there, like, and I'm like, dude. First of all, you don't get any food from me if you act like that. And second of all, let go! This hurts.
You don't know how to deal with birds, man. As someone who owned birds as pets, like parrots and the kind of birds that you had there, I'm just sitting here like, they didn't tell you how to.
Oh, they did.
handle them.
Oh, they did. They did that. Don't try to
But
pet
you
them;
didn't
they will
listen.
bite you. No, of course not.
Well, you can
not
pet
even
birds. Maybe they just don't like you.
Dum dum dum.
I mean, that's a gift, right?
Probably.
I can't go to the bird parts of zoos because the birds like to sit on my shoulders and I would walk around like the freaking crucifix all the time. It's happened too many times for me to count.
But yeah, also another cool thing. So you had the bird thing where you could get into, but they also had a lot of exhibit which were very close. So this is an actual lion, like just centimeters away from me, which was pretty amazing.
You're not really in that much zoos, were you?
No.
Because that's not that special, to be honest. I
Yeah,
mean, it's cool, but...
But the thing is, many of the animals were like way back and turning their head to the audience, but this lion was just chilling there, completely cool. Wait, let me...
Bask in me.
Let me get more lion pictures.
What's really nice about this, you can actually, really, when they are just going like in front of a window, sometimes they're growling really deep, and that feels amazing when you are sitting so close to.
Like when you
that's a cute one.
yeah, like comparing the paw.
Lions are just big cats.
They are.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, then tiny something, whatever this thing is.
A mule?
No, not a mule. But yeah, anything else from the zoo? Not too much. I mean, there's fun stuff on Twitter. No, but what I also thought was amazing, like in Denver in April, if you go just a little bit up, the sun is shining, so it's t-shirt weather, but there is still freaking snow.
Yep.
It's like,
there's not much to contribute there. Yep.
nope, not really. But yeah. Yeah,
Good Denver trip.
Good Denver trip. It was a lot of fun, and I guess I could also just quickly cover my media since we realized I cannot say anything about it, and then you guys don't have to listen to me for a while.
Yeah, then I can give my take on a movie that we can actually talk about.
Indeed, because
we would love to.
Because once again, as you could have seen on Twitter, Yuri and I have been somewhere today.
Yeah.
I like the 1,000 yard.
Pretty uneventful.
Can I just say, Yuri, your 1,000 yard stare in the Twitter picture had a mask of foreboding. Just I thought you guys left the movie at that point because you look depressed. Max looks like he's hiding depression.
No, this is actually before the movie. We went and saw Infinity Wars, but due to the fact that you can't say anything about the plot of the movie without spoiling something about the movie, we came to the conclusion, we can really only talk about this for like 5 minutes maximum because we don't want to spoil it. No worries about spoiling.
We will not even throw up a spoiler warning or anything.
You won't see this one because we will.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, if you have seen the movie, you are very welcome. Yuri and I will probably talk about it in the post-show, so that we can be like, okay, guys, now for everybody who has seen it, we are going to do. But for now, we keep it completely spoiler-free.
Don't you love it when David Hasselhoff and Thanos made out?
Oh yeah, this was the best scene of the entire movie. Didn't see it coming. But yeah, what can be said about the movie without spoiling? First of all, I only saw Twitter messages like, just saw Infinity Wars. Jesus, just saw Infinity Wars. Ah! Those kind of things. And it is true. This movie is intense. Let's just put it at this. I mean, this thing has war in the title. So it usually this thing gets used. I mean, we had Civil War, which also was intense, but this one intense. We talked about it in the pre-show. Basically, when the credits rolled, everybody stayed in their seat. Everybody was just processing the movie. This intense. And when Yuri and I came out of it, we also were like, okay, you know what? Let's go to Starbucks. Let's have a coffee. Let's go over this. Let's talk through this. we need to.
That's the sad part. You went to Starbucks.
It was the closest one.
It was
the
even
closest
that bad.
one is the one right next to the theater.
Oh, Alex is not so great, but nevertheless. So we set out and we talked. We went full on spoiler mode there, but that's for later. Okay, intense movie. That's something that can be said. What movies do you need to actually have seen? Because I would say you actually have to watch every recent MCU movie. So you need to watch Ragnarok, Black Panther, Civil War, Homecoming.
You need to watch any
Ant-Man,
movie that
maybe not.
introduces the characters that are going to be.
That's something that you can say because it's not really spoiling anything. Everybody from the entire MCU to this point who didn't die was there.
Is it a spoiler to ask if Hawkeye comes back since he's not on the poster?
He is the second one. Okay. Two characters. And this is not really a spoiler because it's just pointing out who was not there. Hawkeye was not there. It was just with one line, has to take care of family. Don't know. Maybe that it didn't have anything to do for him, but it was full enough without him. Let's be honest. and Ant-Man was the only other one missing. But since given that the next movie will be with Ant-Man, which is
And the Wasp.
and the Wasp, which is also something interesting. Like, how will it in the chronology, in the canon, how will it relate to Infinity Wars?
I have a feeling it's probably going to be the same thing for Ragnarok was and explain where they were during
Probably. This is also my assumption, that it actually takes place parallel to Infinity Wars, because
Careful.
yeah, it's like, where are they?
Yes.
But besides that, everybody is there. Everybody. If you have a favorite character in the MCU at some point, then he will be there.
That
Um,
sounds
I would say so,
great.
yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Also, I mean, yeah, just look at the freaking poster. Everybody's on it. Then another thing we realized when we talked about it later on, this movie is actually Thanos' story. So the guy, the most underdeveloped guy to this point, and
Yeah.
it's
The running
his story.
meme joke so
Yes.
far.
Yes.
The Homer Simpson of the Avengers.
Yes, and actually, it during the movie you never saw the ridiculous memes. It worked within the movie. His bald head and everything worked. You never were hung up on his appearance, because his story was good.
Let me summarize maybe for everyone who knows Thanos from comics. This film paid enough credit to Thanos as a character. It developed the character enough and did not waste any time. So the character was pretty amazing. He was fleshed out, and it was a very good villain.
Yes, amazing
Yeah.
villain. Wouldn't have seen this coming.
Yeah.
You said
I was gonna say, since the only really thing you can talk about with Infinity War is the prerequisites of what you have to watch before Infinity War. A good video that I recommend is from one of my favorite YouTubers, Something Else YT. I linked it to Max, be like, you'll like this. And it's basically a video telling you, if you don't have the time to watch all the movies before Infinity War and you just want summaries, there you go. And he tells you even like, okay, this is kind of a filler movie. There you go. Because I think the ones he said were filler movies is like Guardians 2 and I think Captain America 2.
No.
No, wait, no, he didn't say Captain America 2. It was something.
Iron Man 2.
Thor 2. He said
Oh,
Thor
yeah.
2 is not required watching.
Isn't it amazing that this franchise is now so big that you actually have the same thing with anime, that you need to watch lists with, hey, that's a filler episode. You have the same with
This
Marvel
is a
now.
filler
You have
movie.
filler films, right? Because, for an instance, if you missed out on Ant-Man, it doesn't
Very.
matter.
That
For
was the other
this
film
one,
he
at
said was
least.
that was the one that he said was filler.
Yeah.
It's an amazing film. I like it. That's not the point. But for the overarching plot of what everything comes together so far, some movies are nice additions, but not essential.
Ant-Man was just inside Thanos' ear the whole time.
Dum dum dum. The twist.
The twist. But is that all you have to say about Infinity War?
No, maybe a little other
Final
thing.
verdict, maybe.
Yeah, but wait, well, one other thing also, with this intense crossover of so many often parallel running movie lines with a lot of characters that actually never interacted, I have to say they managed to pull it off nicely. All the come together, all the interactions, all the times when characters met for the first time or met again or whatever, it all worked. It all came together smoothly, which is surprisingly enough if you consider the scale of this and all the movies that played along. It all worked. In fact,
Was Spider-Man adorkable? Was he cute?
Will not comment on that.
But it's Spider-Man. It's Tom
Will not
Holland
comment on
Spider-Man.
that.
He's so cute. I love him.
Yeah, I love him too. We will not comment on that.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess Yuri, you have this final verdict. You want
On
to
Twitter, I said it was the most fun, colorful genocide I have ever seen.
the other one.
It is the Empire Strikes Back of my generation, I would say.
And
it gets on the same level.
And I
it's
get
exactly what you think the movie was going to be. Everyone knew this was going to happen.
No, but impact-wise. I mean, impact-wise.
Yeah.
Again, everyone. Maybe I'm friends
Maybe
with
you
different
should
people.
watch the movie.
No.
No.
The
And
thing
first of
is,
all, fuck you.
the thing is, I had problems with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and everyone was completely amazed by that movie, and I thought, hey, this movie has problems. It has pacing problems. The plot is not that great. The thing is, this time, the writing and the whole craftsmanship of tying everything together into such a film which has no pacing problems whatsoever is actually amazing. And also, it has enough gravitas to just nail you to the floor in the end. And that's the reason why I compare it for myself with Empire Strikes Back, which is a high toll because Empire Strikes Back is pretty much the holy grail if you're going for franchises. Everyone just says, hey, sequels suck, but Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
For me, that movie was just very, very well made, and it fit very nice together, and I had a lot of fun, but it's also just a 10-ton hammer to the face in the end.
But the hammer got broken in Thor Ragnarok.
It's true.
Spoiler!
It's true.
Oh yeah, spoiler for a movie that's been out for how long now?
Also, you need to watch
Ragnarok
it
is
before.
not that long.
But also, you need to watch it anyways before Infinity Wars. So that's the thing. Anyways,
but yeah.
so much for that. Who wants to go next?
Me.
Okay, then let's go with the.
No. Oh, before I start, there was one thing from last week that I forgot to say. It was a gift that Lauren gave me. It was a belated birthday present. Because apparently it took her a long time to find something that's in mint condition. And only I, and maybe some people in the chat will find this cool. This is an original Yellow Submarine record from 1968. It is literally a 50-year-old record today.
That's cool.
Not today, but this year is the 50th anniversary. That's why they're re-releasing the movie in theaters, which I'm excited, in 4K. But
I'm completely despising the content of that record, but the record itself and it's so
old.
You
don't
that's
like
cool.
Yellow Submarine, or do you not like the Beatles?
I'm a Stones fan, so I'm inclined to hate everything.
It's perfectly fine to have a wrong opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Even though the Beatles wrote one of your band's biggest hits. So, but anyway, I just want to say, the back of the record, the linear notes, they're describing the creation of Beowulf, the Magna Carta, the Declaration of Independence, and then the plot of the movie. This is the best thing in the back. But, yeah, thank you, Abby Rhodey. You are the best, and this is actually a really cool this is a piece of history, so.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, my media, a movie we could actually talk about in detail. Cars 3 was on Netflix now.
Oh yeah, I need to see that movie.
It's actually
where he's having the accident, right?
Yes.
Do I need to go here?
Yeah, you will in a minute, because I want to go spoiler territory on this year-old movie. But I could say with full confidence, this movie is actually really good and better than the first movie. Obviously better than the second movie, but it's better than the first movie too. And I'm someone who actually, I think it's a minority. I really like Cars.
What does that?
I like the car Pixar franchises.
Yeah. I think Cars is an underrated Pixar movie because everyone's like, yes, it's a tried and true story, but there's a reason why those kinds of stories are tried and true. And if you view the original Cars as a character set piece, the movie is so much better because it's a movie about characters. And you forget how endearingly charming all the characters are, and you actually care about them. But I think everyone's kind of had a bad taste in their mouth about Cars because the movie that came right before it was Incredibles, and the movie that came right after it was Ratatouille. So it's like everyone was like,
that's a hard pitch, yeah.
But if you just view it on its own without thinking of what came before and after, it's a good film. And then Cars 2 was a piece of shit. But then you go to Cars 3. Let's go into spoiler territory, because this is the best way to talk about it. This presented the same thing. It's more of a direct sequel to the first movie, but it's like years later. So like at least enough that apparently Lightning McQueen has raced in 7 piston cups circuits. So at least close to a decade. And like he would be in his equivalent of his mid to late 40s in this movie, which for sports people, whether it be NASCAR
end
or
of his career, basically.
Yeah, he's actually pretty. He's old enough that there is a generation coming up at the same time. So, you know, you have this new generation of cars and everything that are racing better than him because they are engineered to be better. They are not the old NASCAR kind of race cars like he is. They're like, you know, nitro, like those douchebag cars in the first movie that put Mac off the road. They're the racers now. Like that, it's that kind of generational gap. But it's kind of like how Toy Story, the franchise talked about, you know, growing up, moving on, that kind of finality. This talked about finality too, just in the way of, you know, your dream, your career, what happens when you're not the rookie anymore, when you're not that hot shot.
Passing on the torch or something.
Let me just say, the first act of this movie is depressing. It is, because you have Lightning McQueen meeting Jackson Storm, which is the black car in the posters and stuff, and he's racing, and he's getting worse and worse because these new rookies are coming out. You're seeing all the people Lightning raced with retiring or getting fired, like unceremoniously fired too, just being like, no, you're done. Doesn't matter that you won multiple races for us last year. We're giving you to a new guy. Like, whew. And then he's trying to race better. His engine basically gives out, and he does the accident you see in the trailer. And it's even more morbid in the movie than the trailer, because you see the slow motion in the slow motion part of the trailer.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I was like, what the fuck?
Then it goes back to real-time speed. He's still flipping, and there's fire, and his paint chips off, so it looks like blood is on the asphalt. Like, and it just, there's no music. There's no music, and then you hear the sirens of the hospital cars trying to go to help him. And then right after, it's 4 months later, and he's cooped himself up in Doc's old garage, and he's just in his primer, so he looks like a fucking ghost. And by the way, they fully point out that Doc Hudson is dead in this movie, and that's an actual plot point. It's a plot point of he's dead, and he's trying to, and, you know, putting himself in Doc's shoes and everything. And all the new characters they introduce is actually really good. There's a lot of heartfelt moments, like there's his sponsors, the Rusty's guy, like the 2 old cars. They sell their company so they can give Lightning McQueen this racing center and all the new technology to help him get better. And they literally say, like, we wanted to give you something we couldn't give you before, and I think it's time. Like, oh, my heart. And all the new characters are good, and passing on that torch of becoming the teacher and not the student. It was legit. I was fully satisfied watching the movie. Is it like Inside Out or the Coco or no? But
it never was, right?
This is actually like, it made me feel that charm that the old movie did. And it made me just super happy and connected. And that's the big issue with a lot of films. And Pixar is guilty of it too. You don't feel connected to the characters. They are just the tropes that they are. And I think that's why people sometimes don't like Cars 1, because if they don't connect to the characters, they're just tropes. They're the love interest, they're the hot shot, they're Larry the Cable Guy. But this, you feel connected. They feel like people. They're humanized. And it felt really good to watch. And I felt like I was just watching an old Pixar movie again. And that, I hate that I have to say that Pixar started to make films that don't feel like that, but it felt really good, and it showed that Pixar doesn't have to suck with sequels. I would say, like, for the Cars franchise, this is like Toy Story 2, where it's an improvement upon the original film. So I would say, if you have Netflix and they provide it in your country, asterisk, watch it. It's actually a good film, and it's not a waste of 90 minutes, you know? And if you want something to cheer you up after watching Infinity War, watch this movie. But yeah, so
nice.
that was Cars 3. That there's your feel good movie of the weekend. So
Yay.
so there you go. Yuri, it's your turn.
So,
Yeah, a couple of questions about Car. Is it the character growth overall which is so nice about the movie,
Yes.
or because I'm also a big fan of Cars, I always like
the
those
character
movies.
growth is great. Lightning is actually a very intriguing character. The new character that his protege, Cruz Ramirez, is actually very charming, and it's one of those. She has that whole arc of talent, but no confidence in the talent.
Yeah.
Which is actually something that's very debilitating for people, where they're so insecure that they don't even go for it.
Yeah.
That's something that, is actually really good. I love that they had a lot of archival audio from Paul Newman for flashbacks of Doc, because apparently they were just like, whenever he's in the studio, make sure you hit record.
Get everything. Yeah, just follow him around.
When you know that, like, one of the Rusty and Dusty characters, because they're from an NPR show called Car Talk, one of them died after Cars, so they had to use archival footage for him too. And it's just kind of the only one they found a replacement voice actor for was Fillmore, because he was voiced by George Carlin, and he's dead. But when it came to Paul Newman and that guy, they were just like, no, we either don't have them talk, or we use archival footage to kind of respect the dead, because especially for Doc Hudson, they were an important character, and it just feels so organic, which is a weird thing to say about Cars, but I fully enjoy. There's not a character in the movie I say that I didn't like. It was just good.
Nice. Cool.
So,
my media.
your media.
Yes. Frostpunk.
Ooh, what's this?
Game came out, I think, this week somehow. The people which made War of Mine, which is this very depressing simulation about refugees or people which are in a war zone and looking for shelter, and now you have to manage those survivors. They made this. This is a strategy game, an economic city builder game, which has the premise of, all right, it's the early 19th century, so 1800 something, and Ice Age is happening, basically. The whole planet is just overfrozen, and it's complete winter, and everything is pretty much fucked. What are you doing now? And you are looking for shelter with your little colony, and you happen to stumble upon a crater which is directly above a coal mine or a coal supply. And what you are doing now is you hunker down and you mine coal to just do not freeze to death. And everything revolves around that premise. You have a colony where you have to make decisions to keep the colony alive. And your people, which are living in that colony, they are hungry, they are starving, they are in need of pretty much everything, and they are also just have very basic normal needs you have as a refugee in a very, very dire situation. And the game is just throwing a lot of stuff in your way to make the life of your colonists miserable. And you are in the end just like looking at the numbers and not on the people anymore, because in the end it's about helping surviving the colony as a whole and not the individual. And then you have to make tough decisions. And all the decisions you can make are pretty much not the black-white thing, good or bad. They are all gray. And they have all downsides, and in the end, you are just trying to get through the winter, which will apparently never stop. Yeah, so that's a very depressing game, and I was streaming it today, just because I thought maybe I can stream something after Infinity Wars, which will cheer me up. Yeah, not that game.
Nice pick there, buddy.
Yeah, not that game. It's pretty well made. It has steampunk aesthetic, not high fantasy steampunk, so not I don't know, big giant robot dudes. There are robots in that game, but they are pretty decent and toned down. So it's a little bit steampunky, but not too much. And it's mostly about the conflict between the greater good for more people or the individual good for few people. So, yeah, I played around 4 hours now. And so far, I really like it. Let me tell you a thing about such games in particular. The thing is when you're throwing survival into the mix and also making tough decisions, right? Sometimes games have a tendency to just put too much emphasis on, hey, we letting you make hard decisions about moral difficult situations. And that's the only feature about this game. I had the feeling with This Is War of Mine that the actual gameplay part, so what you can actually game in the game, is very sparse. With this one, not so much. There are a lot of features and a lot of game mechanics which are cool. Still, if you're expecting a full-fledged out, I don't know, city builder like you would get in Anno or in Settlers or in, I don't know, SimCity. Yeah. That's not your game. It's basically just this crater, your little stove, your little generator in the middle, and then you're just popping down the buildings around this generator thing and just try to survive. And a lot of stuff is actually just waiting for your guys to just complete jobs. You need to be kind of into that.
I'll stick to Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah. Right?
Probably. I assume that...
Good example, because Roller Coaster Tycoon has much more mechanics in the end, because you have a lot of freedom to just put stuff down. In this game, the thing is, for once, you need to be really careful about your layout, and the tutorial is kind of not very good because it's digging you over and presenting you with decisions you cannot make because you do not know what's going on. And then you're just losing your first colony basically because you make decisions without any information, and then you're just screwing yourself over. And so the building part, while it's intriguing and pretty fitting for the setting, it's kind of sparse. So, but overall, it's a pretty cool concept. The art style is amazing. The context of the game and the premise is really, really good. All the things which are happening, all the scouts you're sending out, and all the events which are happening in your town, they are pretty fitting. So it's a cool game if you're into survival and this kind of, hey, I need to make hard choices and everything is a hardship and all that. Then this game is pretty cool. And it's doing pretty well on Steam. 250,000 units are already shipped, so far as I have seen. So
that's good.
They're making an add-on for it because they already broke their sales target. So it's a cool game.
Nice.
And where is this game available? Can you only get it on their site, or is there like
the usual one? Steam, GOG, the website. You can even get a deluxe edition, which is a physical copy, if you're still into this kind of stuff, and an art book and something like that. So
Yuri,
if you need
you
to have more stuff.
You forgot to mention that it's not just Steam, GOG, and Humble Store, but also Windows 10 where you can get it.
You can get it from the Windows Live Shop, the same place that you can get.
If you can actually get it to run, the Windows Live Shop, that is.
Brr.
That's an
Yes,
achievement.
please.
That's an achievement in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. I do not need to worry about the Windows Live Shop because I'm still on Windows 7, and I will stay on Windows 7 forever.
Good
Because
for
fuck
you.
Windows 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. But anyway, the questions is here.
Oh,
And
I
what?
have something before the questions.
oh
Yes.
boy, what is it?
Oh boy. Let's
I don't trust
listen.
you.
Oh, I haven't listened to it, so...
Oh, is it a new song? Did Unirock send you something?
Max and Yuri, what a team, what a stunning duo. Hell is about to break loose in the Max and Yuri game show. This funny program breaks the status quo. Hell is about to break loose in the Max and Yuri game show. Hide the children, here it comes. Hide it from your dads and mums. Hide the children, here it comes. Hide it from your dads and mums. Hide the children, here it comes. Hide it from your dads and mums. Anthropomorphic entropy, what else am I gonna see? Max and Yuri, what a team, what a stunning duo. Hell is about to break loose in the Max and Yuri game show. This funny program breaks the status quo. Hell is about to break loose in the Max and Yuri game show. In the Max and Yuri game show.
Okay, I vote that we change Gaming and Ties to the Max and Yuri game show just so we can have this theme song.
I mean, we have other shows we want to do in our quiver, so for that it will be happening.
That is a really
now we are
really
internal.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Also,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hide your kids, hide your dads. And moms.
I have however, I have the feeling that this theme song is raising the bar a little bit and it might create too high basement of the show. I mean, Unirope, have you ever watched our show? I mean, it's nice, but
I mean, no, it's still
We're
just
trying.
the thing of, hey, do I want my children watching two Germans? Like, I liked it. Good claps for you, Rob.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
But anyway, back to the questions are. The first question is actually something that someone asked me personally on Tumblr, but ANY pointed out this is a good question for Awkward, so I'm going to ask it. From Shadow DJ94. So, if you were in My Hero Academia, what kind of quirk, aka superpower, would you have? Or would you want to have? I don't know if you've seen My Hero Academia. Basically, everyone is born with some kind of superpower, whether it be a mutation-based thing or projection, or you can have anything you want. It can be as ridiculous or as badass as you want. There is literally no set bar.
I see.
probably like X-Men, but 80% or 90% of the population have it.
Yes.
Like
So
the gum fruits from Ruffy.
yeah, kind of. But so let's start with the resident weeb. ANY, what superpower would you want, or quirk, or whatever you want to call it? I'm just saying superpower for the general audience.
Yes, what quirk? So what was the question? What I want or what I probably would have? I mean, those are different things.
Want, but let's say probably would as well. Like want, and then you're probably would. What's your expectation and what's the reality?
God, here's the sad thing. The question is great, but I forgot about it, so I did not prepare it, and I'm very bad with
Do you want us to go back to you?
with creative. It will be the same for the next question. I know if some of you guys already have an answer, then please go ahead.
What I would want to have.
Creativity and why that would be a good superpower for you.
Which one?
Creativity. Because
From my point of view, it is actually a superpower and not just a power.
The superpower I would want to have is probably something to do with like mind control, something that I can control things. That's what I would want. But if all probability, if it's more based on what your personality actually is, it'll probably be what my answer was with this person, which is probably essentially having the ability to make hard light holograms, so projections that can actually have physical mass. But I wouldn't make it like a freaking
Momo.
What's her name? Yeah, because I don't want to wear her ugly ass outfit. It wouldn't be projecting from my skin. It probably would be from my eyes, or I would have like the headphone jack girl's quirk and have little lights at the end of my fingertips.
Yeah, it would be projection and not creation. You create hard light.
Hard light hologram. So I could technically clone myself, and all of them have the ability to punch. But then there would probably be the weakness, because all these quirks kind of have their own little like side effect. Every subsequent, if I have a lot of projections at once, each subsequent one would probably be weaker than the other because it takes some kind of mental fortitude. It's kind of like the guy in the show's quirk who can stop quirks, but only if he doesn't blink. Yeah, so something like that. That would be mine. What about you, Yuri?
What I would like to have is, it sounds so generic, but I think it's the strongest power of all. It's manipulating time, like Doctor Strange could do with his little Infinity Stone. That's basically what I always wanted to do. Just reset every decision you would like to make, or just look into the future. What is the outcome? I think that's one of the strongest ability you can ever want to have, because you're just timeless. You can.
What would be the drawback, though?
The drawback is that the mental capacity to just see the future with all the possibilities would just fry your brain. You cannot, as a human being, it would take tremendous capability. You would need to be an autist, basically, because your brain would not be able to just work with all this information, which you can have by just being, I don't even know where I am, because I could be back in time. This could be the future. It would not work. It's not conceivable, but it would be cool.
Yeah.
So
see, what I would imagine, what I would imagine the drawback of it would be the energy expenditure of so the more farther back you go, the more it would take out of you mentally and physically. So I imagine that the only real use for it would be short-term things. Like if you're in a fight, you can essentially do what Tracer does, have her little 7-second thing. That would be the practical use for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What I really would have probably...
headphone powers. Spawn headphones.
Probably a supersonic hearing or something like that. I don't know. Pretty good in... It sounds so pretentious. I'm pretty good in reading people.
Okay.
He's scary good at this.
Yeah, that would probably just amplify to a point where it's actually uncomfortable, where you're just sitting in front of someone and you meet him for the first time, and within 30 seconds, you know his deal, and that's actually not good, because...
That's a great first impression.
Yeah, right? I mean,
basically, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the show Lie to Me, but this is also not as a superpower. The protagonist is just a guy who trained himself over years to become the absolute expert to read any kind of micro expressions. So he can detect any lie and anything, and he can read people perfectly, and it gets demonstrated as a bit of a curse.
It's like it's kind of like Psych, but instead of reading the room and environment, it's reading a person.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is also sometimes you do not trust your own judgment anymore, and then it gets even more fucked up when you are right, but you did not want to be right about a person, and then it's just not really healthy to just be constantly in that mind state of, I should not judge this person right now, but usually I'm right, so that's not a real...
Either you become a really big asshole or you hate yourself.
But if you know if it is a quirk, you would be right all the time, and you wouldn't need 30 seconds to understand the person. You would see it instantly.
Yeah.
But,
which is, again, not really good. It has a lot of drawbacks, because social interactions can be very complicated. Sometimes it's good to not know everything about a person. And sometimes it's good you do not see that the person now thinks, well, I do not really want to talk to you right now. I'm just being nice and not
the only
saying you bore me to death. So.
Yeah, the only real plus I can imagine that in a superhero setting is if it has also the ability that you can look at your opponent and see their weaknesses.
Kind of that, yeah.
Yeah, but what about you, Mr. Creative?
Yes, so I think a power what I would like to have would be technomancy. So basically,
that would be a cool power.
Yeah, basically a machine whisperer. That
or like in Naruto when they have their puppets, those ninjas which have the puppet thingies.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, the little black kid from Heroes, the first season, which was still good and watchable. intriguing and watchable with the second season of Heroes. Brrr, and the third
Well,
one was unwatchable.
Heroes is the best one-season show.
That's
Is
true.
it, Bo?
There was no second season, and especially no third season.
So I just need to watch the first season, and when I'm good.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Don't.
Okay.
I mean, don't continue after it. It really just gets worse. For the first season, they had an idea, and because the first season was successful, they kept pumping out more and more, and the stories became stale and fell apart and didn't work anymore, and it was just rehashing of old ideas from the first season. And
No.
no, and I'm not even sure if the first season, once you know it, still would hold up. But yeah, or like
For a blind baby like you, it would be perfect.
yeah. Not sure what ability I would have. Maybe the ability of being at multiple, doing just not as multitasking, because I'm not, but
Cloning?
being all over the place, but being basically split. Not
Cloning.
not as a physical body in multiple places, but
So you would have omnipresence?
also not omnipresent. Not something that comes with knowledge, but with ability to do not at once, because then I'm overload, but having multiple things going on and switching between them, basically.
It's the only way I can really imagine that without some kind of duplication ability is that you have the ability to create a hive mind.
Do I have a hive
And
mind?
then your only drawback would be you can only have so much of your hive mind active at once. So you essentially would make a bunch of sleeper agents.
But that's not me, since I'm not multitasking.
Well, I know, but I'm saying
What
that
would
if
be
you
my
wanted
ability?
I don't see personally. I think you would probably be best with shape shifting or having some kind of
Ooh.
or some kind of persuasion power.
That actually makes sense. Shapeshifting is a good one. The benefits
Yes.
of being a sociopath.
And the thing with the drawbacks of shapeshift, every quirk has the same essential drawback of expenditure and how much and what's your limits, in the sense that you probably, in the more practical sense, would just change stuff like facial features or copying people. But even though you would have the ability to, say, turn into a ferret so you can get through a tube very fast, you only have a limited amount of time you can do it before your body is just kind of like, okay, this is actually starting to hurt me because you're in an unnatural form. Because you would probably still, oh my God, you would be like Ant-Man. You would still have the same amount of body mass, even though you're a tiny little ferret. You're still like 165-pound man.
Yes.
That
But
would be interesting.
should we try to get through a few more questions?
Yeah. I'm sorry. This was a good question, so
It
that's why I
was,
wanted to do it first.
absolutely.
By the way, My Hero Academia, hire me. I can help your lore.
Yeah, get good writer, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, Enigma asked, this is one of the newer questions. I'm switching between new and old.
Mhm.
What is your worst month on a yearly basis, and what made that month, in your opinion, the worst?
On general?
I mean, yeah, I guess the general one for general audiences would probably be January. And no, I've never heard someone like the month of January.
It's okay, actually.
Well, I mean, for Americans, because that's when tax time starts, and then you have, it's like for creators, it's the lowest revenue month because it's right after Christmas and stuff,
And
the holidays.
everybody is spent, literally.
Yeah, if you want to kill content, put it in January, basically.
Yeah,
But as-
movies are not that great in January.
But as a user and consumer, I actually like January because it is so relaxed and smooth, and we don't have tax season in Germany.
Yeah, good for you. I would say my worst month is probably September for personal reasons. I'm not going to go into it, but September is mine. At least mid to late September. Beginning of September is fine.
I just wanted to say, September is the worst for you. Because of my birthday, thank you.
The beginning of September is fine. It's once it gets past the 12th and onwards, that's when it gets sucky.
Worst month. Where to go?
When we're doing this time shifting shit.
Oh,
They just
we
did
do
it.
daylight
Yeah.
savings.
They just
Yeah,
did
let's say
it March or something. March or April.
No, the other one.
When they shifted back?
Mm.
Isn't that like November?
Anyway.
Could be.
So whenever that is Yuri's answer.
Yes,
I would go for November or October because then daylight is just getting less and less.
It becomes
Because of the
nighttime
season,
at
and
4 p.m.
I am someone who is very sensitive to not getting enough daylight, and that gets on my mood pretty hard. So every time when I have the distinct feeling, all right, I'm missing out 1 hour of daylight, and that gets rapidly harder and progress even lower during, I think, November is when I really start to feel it. October is kind of okay, but depends on the weather, obviously. But
I mean,
November's pretty shitty.
Yeah, the November is the winter solstice, so that's literally the longest periods of nighttime. So, and I remember it becoming sunset at 4 p.m. So, no, I just don't like the winter months. I will give you more than 1 month. I hate the winter months because it's cold. I hate the cold.
I do not mind the cold. I mind the absence of
daylight
sun
or shorter light. Yeah, I guess I will go with February because it's too short.
It's not consistent.
Yeah, it's also shorter. So
but it's shorter.
Special. This damn special month thinks it's so special and all.
I mean, it's shorter, and then when it finally gets it gets longer. Once in 4 years, it's not even hitting the par. So
oh my god, I tell you, this February. Oh my god.
I was born on a leap year, so technically I'm only like 16 years old. Yay!
Yay!
Gray showed me that picture before he showed you.
Yeah. I mean, here's the original.
Yeah, I have that picture on
Animal
my phone.
cruelty on the stream.
No, there's while I'm getting the next question. I have an entire folder on my computer and my phone on Google Drive that is just cute animal reaction pictures.
Nice.
That is on the top of my list.
And, I am now a cute animal reaction picture. Great.
Well, you always were.
Yeah, you're coming up in life. It's good.
Someone asked a question that is based around me and you, Max. This is an old one from someone named Anonymous saying, "How did you and Keyframe become such good friends?" When it clicks, it clicks.
Desperation. Yeah. I go for desperation.
I mean,
no, I shut up.
Side is my question to that.
I mean, we told the story multiple times, I guess.
Yeah, but
I did not know the story. I want to hear it.
I did. Short version. Essentially, I told him, "Hey, I want to do This is the story.
She was a fangirl.
Can I do? I wasn't a fangirl. I just wanted to do art for someone, and
No. You asked for the thumbnail after you asked me for the podcast.
Well, yeah,
let's lay back and watch that.
That was for a charity reason. I was asking more than just you. So
yeah, other people you like Silver Quill, like Paul, like.
It doesn't make me a fangirl. By the way, just saying, I was able to get Paul from that guy with the glasses on there. That should have been a foreboding of my networking skills. But no, the conversation that we became friends with was, "Hey, can I do thumbnail art for you?" "Oh yeah, sure. Do you want to do a call so we can discuss stuff?" 6 hours later, we had a long.
AY, good move, smart move.
No. He didn't wait for 6 hours. We had a 6-hour long call. We were the title card part of the call only took 20 minutes, and then the rest was just shooting the shit. It was great, and then friendship from there. The rest is history. When you have stuff that clicks, it clicks, especially with people that are
chemistry. That's chemistry for you. That's the classical example of chemistry is just like this, and you're just
like this.
My answer to people is stop asking us this question. This was just the last not strike through one of that exact question on the dock, and I wanted to just kill it. I wanted to kill the dragon. We became friends because we became friends.
Next time, just make up a story.
Stop.
Every time a
Also,
different
isn't-
story. If someone is asking again someday,
Why?
you're just making up another story.
My father took a knife and he put it in my mouth and was like, "Why so serious?"
How does this go?
The Joker Batman quote. I got
No,
you.
because
I got you.
the Joker changes his story each time in the movie.
Oh no, I
yeah.
get that, but still, I thought you were going to try to format it to be how did Key and ANY become friends?
I mean,
We had a call.
rely on A and
and
Y to make it
We had a
strange.
call
Right?
and we talked about title cards and thumbnails, and
There
suddenly
was
we
a
had become
banana
friends.
involved somewhere.
Probably.
But thank you for that question. Stop asking that and stop asking us questions about anime, Nightfall. Anyway, the next question from
You
good
are-
old
you are
Dennis.
going-
German
You are going to
censored dungeon.
you are going to ignore the picture.
Wait, sorry. What the hell is that? Oh, is that Tempest?
That
No,
seems to be
Tempra?
Tempest. And
No, Tempra.
I don't get songs, man.
Oh yeah, because on my NSFW Tumblr, I was really bored, and I was looking at NSFW art, and I just don't get songs. So I put that in the chat. I put that in a post, and then it actually started a conversation with people. But yeah, thanks, Gray. Glad to know that you're drawing my OC. I'm not going to deny it. But from Denim. If your life was a video game, what genre would it be / would you want it to be? Another expectation versus reality. I'll go first because mine would be quick. I wish my life was like a fun, quirky FPS game like Overwatch or TF2. That's what I would love it to be, full of excitement. But in real life, my game would probably be like a simulation game or one of those city builders or like Stardew Valley. My life, it would just be a very pleasant experience. But a pleasant experience with underlying sadness. That's what it would be.
Micromanagement until the grave.
Exactly.
Basically, the sum of it.
Yes, but that's my answer. What about you, Ian?
Wrong direction. I'm down here.
Oh,
I'm
shut.
here.
Okay. Yeah. You're down there. Okay.
You are not mirrored. You don't have an excuse.
Okay. You down there. What is yours?
I also was going for a simulation probably, but now that you already picked it, what else could my life be?
You can still be a simulation game. There's multiple ones of the same. Your game would be that Fallout Shelter game you were obsessed with for like 5 months.
Yeah.
What would my life be? Like The Sims, where you put furniture into your flat and move it around.
That would not be. I mean,
That would not
I
be
would
you,
like
because
your life to
once
be
you
that.
actually make it.
No, but my life would probably be some kind of a game with an optimization mechanic.
With a good
as-
FPS slider.
As sad as it is, my life would be an optimization game
I can imagine that.
with
Your
some
game
kind
would be-
with some kind of nerdy theme overall. So I don't know.
Oh my goodness. You know what your game would be? Remember that weird like socio-political game that looked like the giant like giant bubble?
Yes,
That would be your game.
but with not with politics, but instead with you mean Democracy 3, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Democracy Sim. That would be your. Though I imagine your other game, at least for your online life, would be Sir the Insult Simulator.
But yeah, what would I want my life to be? I guess some kind of adventure genre where you can go around and collect stuff, a lot of loot to collect, and yeah, monsters to
It's
punch,
Skyrim?
the usual.
As long as
Your
it
game would be
comes for
Skyrim?
free.
Not necessarily, but it should be not AAA, but something pure, like a nice indie title or so. But Yuri, what about you? What is your life? What should it be?
What should it be? Some spectacle fighter mecha shit. I don't know, Devil May Cry level of, hey, I'm a robot pilot and I'm just shooting stuff and explosions and rapid movement and all that. That I would like it to be. What it probably will be is a very, very boring RPG, MMORPG, where I just grinding all the cooking skills by just fishing all the day and just adding more to my little skill pile.
Oh yeah, that.
So Battle Chef Brigade?
Something like that, right? So where you're just realizing, all right, this is kind of important to do, but it's also pretty boring, but I need the skill points to unlock the next tier of whatever. So that would my life be, probably.
Nice. So we'll do one more question because we went long with these, and you guys want to talk about Infinity War. This one's a good one, and I'm going to change it so it can be Yuri and I talking about this. Yuri and Key, can you recall one super embarrassing thing that ANY has done or said and go into full detail about how it happened?
Me? I never do anything embarrassing.
I guess let's say embarrassing and or annoying. Let's broaden the scope. You start first.
Annoying, I have a lot.
What
can I say except you?
Do you want to explain the hell that the workplace has become since the insertion of You're Welcome?
This guy got me into the same team as he is. He brought all of this on himself.
Well, tell us, Yuri. Tell Keyframe and HR how has he affected your life? Show me on the doll where he's touched you.
Hey, we don't
more
need,
shipping is occurring after this episode.
We don't need more shipping material about me and Yuri. There's more than enough going around.
Most embarrassing thing. The thing is, I'm literally never ever embarrassed by anything because I do not pay such attention to anything. I'm more annoyed.
Okay, then give us an annoyed story.
He forgets everything what you tell him, pretty much. When you say, hey, look this up and tell me what you think. 2 weeks later, did you did the thing about the thing I asked you? Yeah, I have open in my tab.
Oh, that's usually
because ANY is just saving everything which he Googles in tabs and just leave it there. It's like this guy which is in school and she just goes to the copy machine and just copies the homework and just tells everyone, yeah, I learned for this test because I copied the homework. It's the same thing. He just opens it in a tab and it drives me crazy.
Oh my God, you're not the only one. I think the one thing I remember is I accidentally closed his Google Chrome with all of his tabs, and he was like,
short-term memory.
This was the thing. I was like in the other room that's not the living room and just kind of checking my phone and stuff. And he walks in and he's like, Chrissy? And I'm like, yeah. Did you close my Google Chrome? And I'm like, yeah, why? I just had to redo all my tabs. And he didn't sound mad, which I was glad about. He sounded genuinely exhausted of having to do that. And I'm like, have those tabs you don't check. I think they're Stardew Valley wiki tabs from last year when I was there.
Yes, there are still 3 open.
Yeah, this doesn't help, but yeah.
The thing is, ANY tries to just store all of the shit into Skynet Cyberbrain somehow.
This is the multi-slice thing I talked about earlier.
Pin your tabs then, dude. Like, come on.
And that's the reason why I would say I want to have a cybernetic implant. The first it's on the market, I don't care. But ANY actually needs it. He really needs it to just interface into the cloud so he can just get all the shit done. What is really also annoying is he just watches content on fast-paced.
Oh yeah, he does.
And I'm like, then just don't watch the shit if it's not interesting to you.
No, it's interesting, but it's just too slow.
2 times speed. I'm like, are you?
There's a reason it doesn't make it surprising he likes nightcore music.
It's actually embarrassing sometimes when he has his headphones off and someone is through the office and I'm like, that's not my music. Coming from then, I don't know. Put headphones from ANY under the table.
All I want for a generic holiday is you.
obviously, also whenever there's a meeting and I have to project my laptop on the screen.
Oh, that's just not.
Yeah, and I use Google TV or Apple TV, which also transfers the audio. Then suddenly my music plays in the meeting room, and I'm like, mute this.
Why don't you mute it before you do that?
Because when I'm at my workstation, I just unplug the headphone and everything is muted. So I forget about it. So I go to the meeting, then I have to put myself on the screen, and the screen suddenly has sound again, like if I had my headphones back in.
For everyone who is concerned about the question, there is on a laptop always a mute button for the whole system sound. Yeah, ANY is aware.
Let me just tell you something about ANY's forgetfulness. This is a great story. This is from February, Max. You should remember this. If you don't, so
this is like 2 months ago. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, you'll remember it as soon as I start telling the story.
Oh boy.
I was like, you know what? It's just a nice day. Why don't we go out to get dinner instead of just staying at home? And we made this plan in the morning. It wasn't a last night deal. It was in the morning. I woke up when he wakes up, which is at the crack of dawn, and I was like, okay, remember, we'll meet up at the mall by the Sony Center, okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, bye. And then I even texted him, hey, I'll take care of recycling and then make my way to the mall. And he's like, okay. And then I'm sitting here. It is now like 7 o'clock. It's past when he gets off work and stuff. And I was like, hey, are you here yet? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm on the train heading home. And I'm like, heading home? Max, did you forget we have dinner plans? And he's like, oh, okay, I'll be there. And I'm standing there in the mall. And I'm angry because, and I'm not angry, but I'm very nettled. While there's this film festival going on, so it's already crowded. And then I'm just at the entrance, and I see him walk in, and he just kind of has this like, hey.
Well.
And I'm like, how did you forget? And he was like, well, you know what? Now it makes sense why you were telling me why you were doing the recycling and going to the mall. And I'm like,
yes, it suddenly all came together.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh my God, that was bad. An embarrassing moment though, because I think I've had more embarrassing moments than what Yuri's had. But this was embarrassing for both me and him. Nightmare nights. We tried to dye ANY's hair blue with hair chalk. It didn't turn out right. But the thing was, he had the chalk on his scalp, so it was still loose. And I slapped him in the back of the head, like friends do. But it got all over my neck and his neck and face. And we were walking to our friends, and they're like, hey, guys. And you could just see their eyes, like, they're talking like normal people, but they're examining us, being like, why is there chalk on them? and I'm just kind of like,
okay.
Yeah, I had to explain to him I was the one putting the chalk in his hair, so I already had it all over my hands. The poor bathroom in that hotel, we had to take some of the little towels home with us because they were just completely stained blue. It was bad. But yeah, so that's the embarrassing moment. But then I got secondhand embarrassment, literally because my hand caused half of it.
Well,
yeah.
I have to say, it was kind of awkward.
ANY and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme has seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for awkward cast. Random guests and funny gags. It's the awkward cast. Artists and analysis. You do not want to miss the awkward cast. It's the awkward cast.